I wish I'd listened. Every bone in my body screams that I should have. But back then, it was all just a joke. We were sitting around in a dingy bar, laughing at ghost stories and urban legends. That's when someone mentioned the old Bell Church, the one at the edge of town. Abandoned for decades, yet people swore they heard the bell ringing late at night. The legend said, "Never summon a spirit near the church." Something about the place wasn't right. Something old, dark. Naturally, we thought it was nonsense. After a few more drinks, the idea of testing it became irresistible. How could we resist? We were young, reckless, bored. It was just after midnight when we arrived at the church. The place was a skeleton, tall, dark, looming over the graveyard, like it had been waiting for us. The steeple stood sharp against the moonlit sky, casting long shadows across the cemetery. The air was thick, heavy, like it was pressing down on us, urging us to leave. We didn't listen. I had brought the book, a creepy, ancient thing I'd found in my grandfather's attic. He was a collector of strange things, and the book had been gathering dust for who knows how long. Its leather cover felt wrong, slick, like it had been damp with age or something else. Inside were rituals, summonings, bindings, stuff I didn't understand. But I'd found what we needed. A spirit summoning ritual. The church loomed behind us as we formed a circle in front of the stone steps, laughing nervously. The moon hung low, casting eerie shadows that seemed to stretch and twist in ways they shouldn't. Something about the air was different, like it had grown still, watching us. I remember thinking it was just nerves. I wish that's all it was. I started reading from the book, my voice louder than it needed to be, just to keep the fear at bay. My friends, Dylan, Grace, and Mia, huddled closer together. The further I read, the more I felt this pressure, like the air was thickening with every word, but I couldn't stop. My mouth kept moving, even when I felt the first twinge of fear slither down my spine. Then the bell rang. It was a deep, hollow sound that echoed through the empty churchyard, even though no one had touched the rope. The wind picked up, swirling around us, carrying something with it, a faint whisper. Grace grabbed my arm. "Ethan, did you hear that?" Her voice was thin, shaking. I nodded, but my body wouldn't stop reading. The wind began to howl. The church's old wooden doors creaked, shifting as if something inside was moving, something that had been asleep for far too long. The bell rang again, louder this time, and that's when I felt it. The air shifted, like it had become thick and alive. I could barely breathe. And then I felt it. It was cold at first, like an icy trickle down my spine, but then it grew, spreading through my body. I felt a sudden, intense pressure in my chest, like something was pushing down from the inside. My mouth went dry. I tried to stop reading, to shut the book, but my hands wouldn't obey. I couldn't move. I could still see my friends, though they were blurring, like I was looking at them through glass. Mia was the first to notice. "Ethan, are you okay?" Her voice sounded distant, muffled. I tried to answer, but my voice wasn't mine anymore. When I opened my mouth, something else spoke. "You've come too far." The voice was low, guttural. It was inside me, pushing the words out like they'd been waiting for me to open the door. I could feel it moving through my veins, like cold tendrils tightening around my bones. I tried to fight it, but I couldn't. My body wasn't mine anymore. Grace stepped forward, her face pale. "Ethan, what the hell is happening?" Her voice was trembling, and I could see the fear in her eyes. She reached for my arm, but the moment she touched me, she jerked back, her hand snapping to her side like she'd touched something burning. The bell rang again, and I felt the entity fully settled inside me. I couldn't speak for myself anymore. It was using me, wearing me like a suit, forcing words through my mouth that I didn't understand. Strange, dark syllables, words that felt wrong, words that sounded ancient, like they'd been spoken in some forgotten time, in a forgotten tongue. Dylan shouted something, but I couldn't hear him. My mind was filled with this voice, this thing inside me. It whispered in a language I didn't know, but somehow understood. It was telling me things, horrible things, secrets about the church, about the bell, about the place between life and death, where it had been waiting for someone foolish enough to open the door. I wanted to scream, but the only sound I made was laughter. Not my own. Its laughter, deep and hollow, echoing out of my throat. It felt like my insides were twisting, like it was reshaping me from the inside out. Grace and Mia backed away, their eyes wide with horror. But Dylan stepped closer, shaking my shoulders. "Ethan, snap out of it," he shouted. But it wasn't my name anymore. I wasn't Ethan anymore. The thing inside me turned its gaze on him. I felt its anger, an ancient, festering rage. It spoke again through me, its voice slithering out of my mouth. "Too late," it hissed, the words dripping with malice. "You called me, and now I stay." I could feel it digging deeper into me, like roots pushing into my soul. I was fading, slipping further into the dark, into a place where I didn't belong. I was disappearing, and it was taking my place. I tried to fight, but my body wasn't mine. I could feel it moving, stepping closer to Dylan. My hands reached for his throat, not by my will, but by the entity's. He stumbled back, fear flashing in his eyes. I couldn't stop it. I was trapped, screaming inside my own head, helpless as it used me like a puppet. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it stopped. The wind died. The bell fell silent. The grip on my mind loosened, and I collapsed to the ground, gasping for air. The thing was gone, for now. I could feel it still, though, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to take over again. The church doors creaked once more, this time closing with a soft, deliberate finality. We didn't say a word. We just ran, stumbling over gravestones and roots, desperate to get away from that place, away from the thing I had invited in. But I know it's still there, inside me, waiting. Every so often, I feel that cold pressure again, the whisper in the back of my mind. And at night, when everything is quiet, I hear the bell tolling, deep and slow. And I know that one day, when the bell rings again, it won't let go. Because you should never summon a spirit near a church, or this will happen. And now it's too late for me. Thanks for watching Eerie Tales. If you enjoyed this journey into the macabre, smash that like button and share it with your fellow horror enthusiasts. Drop a comment with your thoughts and let us know what scares you the most. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more spine-tingling content. Until next time, stay brave, stay curious, and remember, the darkness is always closer than you think.